the Streamlabs OBS shows the chat right in the software. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
nice.
Can I like
Alright,
trigger
show me.
ads and shit? Can you
Might be able to.
Because if I didn't have to go away from this screen, that would make things a little easier for me, probably. But whatever. John, do you want to stall while I run an ad break so you don't have to deal with pre-roll?
Okay. I don't know what stall means.
I don't know.
Like,
I'm
what do
just
you mean
gonna
by stall?
just don't click on my channel and complain.
I clicked on your channel and I'm about to complain.
All right, now I'm gonna because you did that, I'm gonna run a 3-minute ad instead of a 30-second ad.
Oh, wait. No, don't do that.
All right,
Billie
you have
Eilish.
11 minutes of ad-free shit.
All right. Oh, good. Another 30-second ad just played after me watching 1 second of your stream. Why are you putting ads on? No one's watching.
It disables
point.
pre-rolls. The pre-rolls you can't disable this, but if turns them off if you run an ad break. So I usually
see,
just
so
run
you're-
one at the beginning, so we don't have to deal with it.
So that we don't get pre-rolls.
Just for when we're setting up. I don't really give a shit if we get it during the show.
You don't care about the quality of the show. I got it.
Well, look, I did used to do that. And then you kept yelling at me for running too much ads at the beginning when we were setting up.
All right, let me turn off my Discord audio and let's listen to the Twitch stream. Here we go. This is John talking at his normal volume, and then Matt, and then TJ.
This is Matt. Hello to Junior Gamer in the chat.
Hey, it's Robbie. Hey, Mr. Robbie. In the chat. This is TJ
Alright.
talking. Something.
And the
mic
chat
check or
layout
whatever.
works correctly, which is nice for once.
And I want to type. You know what? I'm just gonna use my phone because I don't feel like getting my keyboard.
All right, this is John talking again. Now that everyone's doing, I want to listen to John again. I moved my microphone slightly.
You would.
I was a little too far away before.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no!
What'd you do?
All right. Woo!
Someone's got to melt into my chair. Matt doesn't want to talk. It's fine.
Oh, I'm supposed to be
I
talking?
was silent there for a while. Let's do John talking, and then let's do Matt, and then TJ.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm supposed to be talking right now. How's it going?
It's going well. We are mic checking this shit, and I'm trying to just get into your chat room right now, so I can be chat only.
All right, mic check, mic check. Mic 1, mic 2, mic 3. Oh, also, make sure you have your Discord settings set up correctly.
Me? What did I do?
Voice and video, input sensitivity, turn that way down. So if voice gating isn't off, I'm going to be loud. Haha, loud. Am I peaking? Am I peaking? Loud. Haha, loud.
Voice gating. It's about ethics and voice journalism.
Oh, god damn it. Fuck.
Haha!
I feel like I am peaking a little bit, but like I don't understand how I can fix that.
Are you hitting red at
All
any
right.
point in your audio
I think
chain?
I'm fine. Matt, can you turn me up just a tiny bit? But other than that, like 5% maybe? I did hit red.
So you shouldn't be hitting red. Because I got shit to boost
All
over
right.
here.
I see that you turned me up 5%. This is John, and then let's do Matt.
But. Wieners.
And I'll do some talking just in case.
You know how those TJs are. Talk.
Cool. I think we're pretty good. I'm done. Why am I just so much quieter though? Is it just the fact that I bought a condenser mic against your will?
No. If anything, that should be louder than a dynamic.
Why is it so? Why do I have zero room? Like I feel like if I
Where
turn
are
the
you
gain up,
seeing clipping? Is it on the interface?
it's on the it'll turn red. Yeah,
Okay, you shouldn't be going red on there.
I know, but I feel like I feel like I don't have any other way to. Does it make sense?
It's because
Like
it needs to go through vocal compression. Well,
do I need like should I buy a cloud
should.
lifter?
No, you can't. For a cloud lifter, it needs to be a mic that doesn't need phantom power, because what cloud lifter does is converts phantom power into like 10 decibels of gain.
I see.
Yeah, well, what you need is some kind of software compression after your interface, after it gets past all that stuff that can clip. But we can look at that later and see if there's something really easy that you can just adjust.
Yeah, because looking at
is there any setting for adjusting compression on like the Discord input?
That's a good point. Let me look.
Or
Also,
even just boosting there. I'm sure it does some compression automatically. It might be under something like tone, or it's usually like some vague,
so yeah,
like makes better sound.
I have my input set to 100. I have noise suppression turned off. I have echo cancellation turned off. Noise reduction is on.
Yeah.
Automatic gain control is off.
I would set your input on the actual physical input to just where you're starting to hit yellow sometimes.
Yeah.
And then
that's where I kind of am, but
boost Discord as much as you can until that meter is starting to hit shittiness, and
that's like the problem is that it's not even just Discord though. It's like the way that this mic is set up. It's like the audio coming out of the Focusrite is just very quiet.
Do you have the Focusrite control software and everything installed?
So that is one thing that I just thought of right now, is that maybe that's it.
There's like there's two different softwares. There's like Focusrite control that
I have Focusrite control, which is telling me that I have no hardware connected, which is a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's good. That's a good piece of software. You said what's the other thing?
Focusrite device settings.
There it is.
I don't know if that controls input volume though, but that's like bitrate and
sample
stuff.
rate, buffer size. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, you need the other one to, because you can like digitally reduce the input volumes on that thing. So I don't know if you ever did that at some point.
I don't remember doing that. The problem is that the Focusrite control app is literally saying that I don't have. Oh, now it's worked correctly.
Yeah, Focusrite is
here we go.
Like not great with drivers and software.
All right, I'm on the device thing here. I can only change the sample rate. It looks like on here. Mm-hmm. Output routing not turned on. I can switch between air and non-air, but I don't think that makes a difference. That just changes the quality of the
air
audio.
just adds more treble. Let me look at mine and see what we're looking at. Focusrite. Okay, so where are you? Do you see the tabs that say input and output settings?
Yeah.
Okay. Go to output routing, and whichever one your mic's plugged into, you'll see the meter going. See if that's set to any.
No, it says output routing is not supported on this device.
Oh, okay. Well, then I don't know. You have the solo, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just look it up later.
It's just like it's like, because like the thing is that to get louder, I can turn the gain up, but then that just makes me peak more.
Yeah.
Like I'm hitting the point where if I turn the gain up more, I'll just actually.
Well, and that's what compression will do. It'll lift the low stuff up, the quiet stuff without boosting the stuff that's already loud.
And then, oh, so you're saying I should probably get a compressor?
Yeah, but there should be some like really easy. I would be surprised if Focusrite doesn't have like control for that.
I mean, I could buy a compressor. They're not that expensive. If that makes sense.
Like a physical
Like-
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm looking at Sweetwater.com.
make sure it's for a vocal mic and not like a guitar compressor or something. But
Yeah,
for a
definitely.
mono compressor, they're not that bad. The thing,
No, I think they're like $50. Like,
the thing to think about is the cheaper it is, probably the noisier it's going to be with just like hiss
See,
and stuff.
well, and it's really not that much of a problem because like when I'm recording in Audacity, I can just boost it. Like when where my line is on Audacity, it sounds fine. I mean, Audacity sounds
shouldn't-
great. It's just I feel like Discord's audio, the audio Discord's getting is way quieter. I don't know why. Let me turn off noise reduction, and I'm gonna listen to Twitch now. Maybe noise reduction is doing something like turning everything down as well. You know what I mean? So let me just. All right, I'm gonna listen to Discord. This is Don talking with noise reduction turned off.
I definitely hear noise now.
Yep. But it's, I mean, not the worst I've ever heard.
Nah. Well, is noise reduction happening?
No, it's.
I don't think it made
it's
it sound-
noisy. It's noisy.
It just. I guess I gotta give them some credit because this noise reduction that they have built in is fucking great. Because I have a fan going right here
Yeah.
on low, and you can hear it at all.
Over the past like couple of years, noise reduction has gotten insanely good.
Yeah. See the problem is that maybe I just need to fuck around with the post processing compression that I do. Because I do like compression in Audition, but the problem is that like the last episode I recorded, everyone was so much louder than I was. And
Yeah.
it was really annoying.
That's why I
Which
wish
is
we
why I'm
had
like-
some way to record to 3 separate tracks and then just mix them afterwards so that like you can play
we
with all
definitely
the compression. Well,
Yeah.
do we? Can we?
I can. I
email
mean,
you
I
now,
just
yeah.
you just open up
Audacity.
Audacity and we do a clip. I mean that's
Yeah,
how I
but
used to
you
do it with Adam.
had you had so many problems with like timing and stuff with Adam. I didn't think that worked well enough.
That is a really, really good point. And that's like the devil you deal with is that like because for some reason clock speed on your computer can change how fast the audio is recording, like by very small amounts. And so like an hour and a half conversation for me will be an hour and a half in a second. And for Matt and Adam, it'll be an hour and a half in 2 seconds. And then for some reason, when you
what I
clap at the
want-
start
My
and then you
deepest
clap
dream.
at the end, it's off, and you're like, how did that happen?
My deepest dream is that Discord has like a producer mode where everything's the same for you guys, except I get separate audio outputs for each of you, and then I can bring them into my mixer and mix them and put effects on them like separately.
It is kind of surprising that there really isn't a software that does that.
There are. They're just paid subscription services.
Yeah.
Oh, but they're not great though.
The only one I
If
know
there-
that's
if there
good
was,
is
I would-
Opal, because the Modern Rogue guys use, or the Night Attack guys use it a lot.
What's it called?
Opal, it's like a dedicated piece of hardware, though. and it's apparently very expensive. It's like professional broadcasting level shit.
I'm not gonna see that from here. Pokemon Blue.
Nice.
TJ said Pokemon Blue.
Yep.
I thought
You know
they were
what's
pretty
really
cool.
smart? You know what's really smart when you create a thing like Opal?
Name it
just
something
call it
that's impossible to search for.
When you Google it, it doesn't come up at all because it's named after a gemstone. Oh, it's like a piece of hardware?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
And so it basically sets up a direct virtual network between two pieces of hardware that are connected to the computer. And
that's
then
pretty awesome, though.
You don't get ducking or anything, and yeah, it's
they don't cost.
cool.
The price. I don't know what the price is, but the fact that looking on their website they don't list a price probably means it's very expensive.
Mhm. The fact that their website looks so not consumer oriented means it's expensive. It's like this is
means it's being
ugly
sold
shit
to
for business
studios.
people to look at.
They're selling this to radio stations
Mm-hmm.
and things that use this professionally to get like. Anyway, I think it sounds good enough. I think the listeners think it sounds good enough too. The thing that bothers me most is the fact that for some reason my audio is so much quieter than yours, Matt. I don't know why. And like when I boost my gain, I get into peak mode.
Yeah.
Maybe I just need to get closer. And if I'm closer, does that help? I'm gonna talk here, Matt, and then you talk, and let's see how it sounds.
I mean, your problem is compression. It's not getting closer will help a little bit, but it's kind of just bringing everything up.
Mm-hmm.
It'll help with like the natural compression of how microphones work, but what you really need is just software compression.
See, now I'm peaking all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, you are.
Yep. If you want the best, my preferred solution, I think, would be to get a single, like mono compressor, hardware compressor that's not too cheap. That's gonna be like better quality than the preamps on your Scarlett, and then put that before the Scarlett, and it'll, kind of make the Scarlett sound a lot more like a more expensive piece of equipment because you don't have to have it up so much.
It just really sucks because I mean I love the Scarlett, and this mic sounds so much better than my Yeti that I had, but it works for the use case that it was built for, which is recording raw audio to Audacity, which I can just boost myself afterwards.
Mm.
And this sounds great because I have all the studio shit set up in here with especially if I put up the what is it, the big rug that I have back there, and then I have really good sound dampening in this room.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds great. But doing recording over Discord with people that have different mics, it's much quieter.
The other thing that's free and wouldn't be that difficult for you to set up is to just set the Scarlett to a point where it never leaves green, and then you run it through Voicemeeter and do your compression digitally, and that's gonna like really boost up any noise that's coming from the Scarlett, but I don't know. It also might be just fine because you can.
Honestly, it's fine because
you can do like noise suppression and Voicemeeter anyway.
So what's this piece of software you're talking about?
Voicemeeter. It's a French
shit,
company,
I think I have
so
this
it's
installed.
some of
I
their
have it
shit's
too.
hard to like read, but they have a bunch of free versions. You just have to like deal with software routing of shit that can be kind of a pain. But as long as you're not
shit, I have Voicemeeter Banana installed.
okay.
so I
don't
can
know
just
if you wanna
do this right
tonight.
now.
Well, you have to route your Discord audio coming to and from Voicemeeter, which can be a little bit of a pain.
Okay, well, you know what? Let's fuck with this another night, Matt.
Yeah.
Now that I realize I have the piece of software, I can do screen share and we can fuck around with it.
Yeah.
But tonight, let's just get the recording going.
It should be a lot easier for you to set up than it was for me because you're not dealing with like routing to two different programs with like two different. Like my voice needs to go to both, but your voice needs to only go to OBS and all that shit.
All right, I think you boosting me 5% helped. It's fine. It doesn't sound that bad. It's just kind of annoying how much quieter. And the problem is that when I can't tell until it's done.
Yeah.
Like until we've recorded the whole thing, because like I said, when I listen to you on Discord, and TJ, you both sound equal to me, and you're so much like quieter on Discord than you are on your Twitch, and it's just weird.
Yeah,
it's fine. We'll deal with it later. Let's get it done. It sounds fine. Are we ready to start? What episode number is this? I don't even remember. 430. Is it really 439? Oh yeah, because I put 437 up on. Like, Sunday,
neat! Somebody followed me 18 minutes ago. Thanks.
Whoops.
Haas.
All right.
I'm a good.
Are we ready?
Oh! Do not look up that account. That is a bot that does hate rates.
Oh, I've heard.
Oh, good.
Well, let's start the show before we talk about hate rates because I've heard of it, but
All
I
right.
don't really know what
Perfect.
it is.
Let's do it. Welcome to Born in the 80s, episode 439. I am your host, as always, John_Danger, the guy who doesn't understand how to work a remote correctly, or not a remote. Fuck. A microphone correctly, and a remote. I actually have a story about
See,
that.
here's
too,
your
but we'll
problem.
get-
They're two different things.
I see. No, the problem. I'll talk about my remote problem after we get into our first topic. But our next host, please.
Hi, I'm Matt.
Oh, and this is TJ or something. So what's going on with your remote?
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about the other thing, but no,
Okay, fine.
no. We'll
Yeah.
go to remote since you brought it up.
Yeah.
So I kind of got into a crazy, and this might be my whole topic for the week, is I got kind of into a crazy nostalgia thing, and I was like, I'm going to set up some of my old consoles, and like, because now that the basement, my parents dropped off an extra couch they had, so we had before my old TV that used to be the main TV that I bought a nicer TV, and so now the old TV is in the basement on a thing. And for the longest time, we didn't have any furniture down there, so it was just a TV in an empty room. And now we have a couch, so you can actually use it. So I hooked up my N64, and I was going to hook it up through the VCR, so I only use one AV input. But then I just realized that the old TV I have has two AV inputs, so that's awesome.
Okay.
So I don't need to do that. But my VCR I wanted to set up so I could watch VHS tapes and stuff. And the VCR, when it starts up, has a little option thing that says select language, and you cannot use the VCR until you select a language, and you cannot select a language without a remote because it requires you to hit number buttons.
This is pain that is incredibly irrelevant to me. It took me, I think, over 2 years to find a VCR at a thrift store that either I never actually found one with a working remote, but to find one that didn't originally come with a remote, so all the controls were actually on the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there is a way around it. They make universal remotes that generally work with almost every piece of software or every piece of hardware that you could buy, because I guess the way that like the remote control, like I get it's over IR, I think remote controls are, and it's a standard signal. You just need to input the correct like code to like sync with your device, basically. So you like hold the program button and then you type like 1256, and then it'll work for any like Panasonic VCR or DVD player, basically.
I have a couple sonic screwdrivers you can do that with too.
Oh, cool. But anyway, yes. So that's like kind of the idea, is that like the universal remote is the sonic screwdriver for your AV time. So I bought a Universal Remote off Amazon. And that was supposed to arrive today, but now it's going to arrive either tomorrow or Monday. So hopefully I'll have that. But yeah, and it just comes with like a big like manual that has all of the codes you need for different like
Yeah.
devices. So
Well,
I will have a working
did-
remote soon.
Did they say that did it say that it worked for your model?
Yes. Well, it was
Okay.
$8, and it's also an RCA brand remote, and I have an RCA VCR, so it should work.
Yeah, hopefully.
It was $8.
It-
Like it's gonna work.
It depends on how old the VCR is and everything, dude. Like
Yeah.
the ones
It's
that
not
are
super
just
old.
like universal remote for every brand, they
Yeah.
like have basically a spreadsheet that has all of the remote codes that they have, and then they just put all of them in, but it's never all of
That's
them.
what I looked up. But I mean, like, I'm buying it off Amazon,
Yeah.
and if it doesn't work, I can return it. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how Amazon works. So it should work. I mean, it was only $8,
Yeah, I
so I
got-
probably
well,
wouldn't even bother
even
returning
better.
it. So
I got a universal remote off Amazon a while ago that wound up not working for me, and they just refunded me and let me keep it because it was so cheap,
Yeah.
and it would have cost more
I'm
to
sure
ship
that's
back.
what'll happen too. So that's another thing to talk about is how ridiculously expensive VCRs are.
Well, they're
You
not
want to
making
try and
more.
buy what?
They're not making more.
I know. Oh, I thought you said not anymore. I was like, are you kidding me? No, they aren't making more. When was I think the last VCR was made in like 2010 or something. I was
I
looking
wouldn't
this
be
up.
surprised. Yeah.
No, 2016. This says this How Stuff Works article. Japanese company making VHS cassette players has Panasonic, I guess it looks like. No, Funai Electrics
Oh yes.
said that they stopped making VCRs in 2016. But that was I'm sure the PAL ones they're making in Japan. So it's kind of interesting how expensive VCRs have gotten though, because if you look up like eBay VCRs, they're like $120.
Yeah.
So what you have to do is go to like a Goodwill where they're not marked up.
But then you're like I said, you're dealing with stuff that may not even work. If it does work, if you don't have the remote, you're fucked. Like, and
Well, there's
I
like
don't,
there's some good
VCRs,
shit.
they're not a very durable technology. There's a lot
No.
there's a lot of fragile moving parts in there that get fucked up over
Correct.
time.
So actually, I see a really good buy it now. If you want a VCR, there's a Sony Hi-Fi with the remote. Tested works, $50. $20 shipping though, because of course, a VCR is not light.
There's got
actually, it looks like
there's got to be like a threshold that VCR prices
I'm gonna be
get
honest
to,
with you.
where
gonna be
people
honest with
just
you.
start making new ones, and it's like
Uh-huh.
all the stuff that plays retro games and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I'm gonna be honest with you. The prices seem to have dropped recently. I wonder if that was just a bubble that has popped because, like, right now I'm seeing a lot of VCRs for about $20 to $40. Because
That's
man, there was a while
not bad.
when it was all like $100.
yeah,
Almost none of these come with a remote though. There's that one that had a remote, but like I said, if you can get a universal remote, it works because a lot of times you'll need, or like you said, Matt, get a VCR that was old enough that didn't have a remote. That my favorite VCR in the world is the one that my parents had. I don't even remember what it is. I think I threw it away and I feel bad about it. But I mean, it is like fucking metal, like all like fucking
like it's covered in
shiny,
dragons and shit.
stainless steel metal. It's like a Sony. It has like tons of buttons on it. You know, it's like great. And I wish I wouldn't have tossed it, but it didn't read tapes. Like it was some internal component was busted, and of course I
Yeah.
wasn't like savvy enough technical wise to fix it, so I wasn't about to. But
This is the one I ended up getting that was perfect, and
what is
all
that?
the controls
Oh, wait.
are right there.
Oh shit! Wait, what is that? Is that a Sony?
No, it's an Admiral. This
Okay.
isn't
I
old
have a
enough that it didn't have a remote. It's cheap enough that it didn't have a remote.
I got it.
And
I
it's
have a
perfect.
Sony. I have a Sony one too. And, oh, this one has the same problem. This Toshiba is it only has mono out. There's so many fucking of these that just has mono out, where they just have the one white audio out instead of white and red.
Yeah. That was another thing. That wasn't really a thing for me because I mostly wanted it for like fucking up video. But yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, it's just interesting how difficult. So, like, I bought one off of Facebook Marketplace last year because I was worried about. I don't know. I just got like this weird panic that I was never going to be able to have a VCR again, and so I was like, I need to have a backup for my one that works, which is the one that I set up downstairs, which is nicer. And so I bought one for like $25, and it doesn't have a remote either. It looks pretty similar in form factor to yours, though. It has all the buttons on the front. And that one does work. I tested it and it worked. It was actually funny too because I like messaged the Facebook person because I tested it and it didn't work, and it was just the VHS tape I had wasn't reading that one. I put another one and it worked right away. Anyway, so VHS prices are cool. I don't know why you'd want a VHS player.
Just
Watch
for
videos.
video distressing. You can do some cool audio stuff, like you can record audio onto the video part of the tape, and that gives you a lot of bandwidth to do tape compression for pretty cheap. But
cool. Like I've seen a lot
just nerd shit.
Well, so that's interesting too because I actually follow I'm on a Facebook VCR group.
Is this
and like
related to the VCR party people?
No. This is just a VCR collecting and collectors resources, and there are just people that are just like, I only like to watch movies on VHS, which is interesting to me. It's just like the fucking record players. They're like, I like the analog feel of the video, which is so weird to me.
Well, it's because I mean, I really like the shit that shows up as the tape starts to wear out. I think that's fun, but like that's not about like the movie. That's not like increasing my improvement of the movie or my enjoyment of the movie. I think that's just fun because I like distortion. But
my favorite part though of this group is someone will always post like a VHS Disney like clamshell, like Aladdin or something. It'll be like, how much is this worth? $80? And everyone's like, no, there's 8 billion copies of that. It's worth like $2. It's just funny because people are like, wow, I've got all these amazing Disney movies because they put them in the vault. And it's like, yeah, but people bought 1 million copies of that VHS. So it is not in any way. No, but there's like people like there's a guy here posting his badass VCR room. Here, if I streamed my screen, would that ruin your thing?
No, his layout's fine with it.
Okay, well, you're gonna see this person's name, so this is something I kind of wanted to do, is set up like a retro room.
You're gonna kind of see this person's name. It's so crunchy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Anyway, he's got a cinematic Titanic poster, which is
like
cool.
that.
That's some of the MST3K people did that for a while. He's got some old posters. Got a Death Wish 4 poster for some reason. But like, look at this shit.
Now, are you worried that if you aim for this, you're accidentally gonna land amongst the creepy DVD houses with the baptismal font and a bunch of weird shit?
No, I mean, I don't think I'm aiming for this, but like he's got his like nostalgia room where he's got, all these old consoles. He's got that. I kind of want to set that up. But what's interesting to me with this is it's not a CRT.
Oh yeah.
He went with a full, but you can see he's got all. I think one of these must be a Betamax. He's got an old NES, a Virtual Boy. I mean, this is just kind of cool. Like, it's a cool room to have all this like fun stuff. That's kind of what I wanted to do. He's also watching Space Mutiny. Which I really love.
I was like, I think that's Space Mutiny, and I read the comments. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Makes sense. He's a cinematic
I like
Titanic.
the
and
other
riff
comment
tracks,
too. A lot of wasted room on his ceiling. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like, holy shit. But I mean, like, this is kind of the thing I want to do. Maybe not to this level of like collectorness, but like to have my like old games and VHS and all my old shit room. Like you can see he kind of went full out here with all the old toys and dude, get a better thing. Like, come on, don't use this futon to sit on. Like, that's got to be super uncomfortable. But I wish oh my god, it's got a fucking video game closet too, which is really good. I mean, it's a thing, man. I want to get that because I have an app called My Game Collection, and I started just going through everything I owned and getting like it cataloged on that, and I was like, this is actually really good too for insurance purposes because
Yeah.
now a lot of these older games are actually worth significant amounts of money. Because I was looking through some of my N64 games, and like my copy of Paper Mario is like $100. My copy of Harvest Moon 64 is like $80. Like I have some stuff that's actually worth money, and I actually should probably keep track of it because if there was a house fire, I would be devastated one, but at least I could get like an actual accounting for cost. You know, this
Yeah,
guy's got
especially
enough.
since I'm planning on burning your house down.
And then I was talking about TJ is that I have an old one of these PS2s, a PS2 like the launch PS2, and I don't think it works. I need to get it out and fuck around with it, but yeah, I don't think it works. So I would need to figure out how to fix that. Oh, look at all this cool shit though. I see he's got some Famicom games too. And that must be the first Nintendo. One of the first Nintendo Powers is very old.
The first Nintendo Power is Super Mario Brothers 2.
Yeah, the first Nintendo Power is
definitely not
Super
it.
Mario Brothers 2, but this is still back when they did like the old claymation like type covers.
That's
so
true,
it's
yeah.
still really early on, which is pretty cool.
Well, that's Mario Paint, so that's got to be at least second.
Yeah.
if not third.
Oh god.
Yeah, because
Mario Paint was my first DAW, my first digital audio workstation.
That's amazing. It is cool. It's a really cool piece of software. I mean, like you talk about, you know, the Homestar Runner guys started on
that's right, yeah.
Super Mario Paint is how they created their first cartoons. So Mario Paint's I have Mario Paint with the mouse and the little mouse pad. No, but that's like a really cool thing I'm with is this VCR collectors thing, because they'll have like a lot of stuff on sale. Like this guy has a VHS RCA with remote for $30 plus shipping. Like they'll have good deals on shit. And I'm not like at the point where I want to start collecting VHS tapes though, because that seems like a big rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah. Well, it's like the IMG mining. Like I love going to r/deep into YouTube. I don't have the patience to actually find the content for r/deep into YouTube.
I see.
It's like,
yeah.
If you getting to the found footage festival level of like going and finding garage sales and looking for, that's so much hunting. So time consuming.
Yeah, so the are we getting hate rated again? We gotta talk about this.
We're we're getting a lot of follows, which is unusual for this channel.
I just peeked, I'm
And
sure, but it was worth it.
One of the people is named FB1 are script kiddies, so I guess that's like a rival like wannabe hacker thing calling out it. So yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot of shit that seems like something's gearing up. TJ, what's the hate raid?
I haven't been following the chat, but it seems like you gifted a sub to one of our actual listeners, so that when you locked the chat down, they could still chat with us, which is nice.
Yeah, he's already in the Discord too, so we're good.
That's
Plus, I just like him, so I gifted him a sub, and
nice.
like 30% of that is gonna come back to me at some point. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a September.
Yeah.
50. Oh, yeah, 50% though.
Yeah, whatever. It's
whatever,
like it's not
man.
like a big deal. Man, I could have gifted him a sub. Can I? Well, I can't sub until September 11th.
No.
For your
But you
well,
can
for your
give
Twitch
somebody
Prime
else a
stuff.
sub. You can give.
That's when my Twitch.
You can give
That's my-
FB1 our script kitties a sub.
No.
Or the one who followed after. You don't want to know the name. They're getting worse and worse.
Oh
Wow.
no!
Yeah,
I
I
read
watched
that
report
as
of
Black Flag, like a pirate thing, or like the band. Nope.
Oh, I love the band Black Flag.
No,
Nope.
it's
That's not what this
about-
is.
It's nope. It's
not about
face.
flags. It's yeah.
It's spelled in leet. Good job.
Yeah.
So wait, you're just getting a lot of like followers now? Is that what's happening?
Well, I
We
just
got
got
3 of
3
them.
real quickly, and they're all like
Oh.
have
Now, one of-
very questionable names.
One of them
So-
is a variant on a username that. Okay, let me start from the base.
Can we explain what hate rating is though first? Yeah.
I'm gonna turn
like-
TJ
yeah.
up a little bit. He's a little quiet.
No,
Oh,
don't
yeah.
turn TJ up. Everyone gets
Okay.
louder than me. It's okay. Go ahead. You
So,
can fuck with it.
Yeah. So hate raids are a thing that have been happening on Twitch for, I mean, a while now at this point. But they've been disproportionately affecting, minorities and anyone who's
Oh, weird.
not cisgender white male hetero.
That's unusual.
But it's been getting
Wait,
really
3
bad.
white guys doing a podcast?
Yeah, of course.
Sorry.
But
Go ahead.
but no, these recent hate raids have been. What will happen is they will follow your channel, do nothing, and then your entire chat will just be blasted with absolutely racist stuff. And if you're not banning that immediately, they will report your channel to Twitch
Ah.
to get it banned.
Oh, okay.
They will also do that while you are offline. And that has gotten some Twitch channels banned as well.
Mhm.
And some of these hackers or bots or whatever also have IP tracking in their profiles. So if
Mm.
you actually go to check their profile out, they could get your IP address and use that for bad things as well, whether to get you banned or whether to do some sort of offline equivalent of swatting.
Got it.
But
It just seems weird that they would I guess target smaller channels though. Too. What's the point? I understand
I mean,
let's try and get
from
fucking
from
big
that what
Twitch streamer
TJ said.
banned.
This seems to be pretty automated. So
Mm,
them showing up in my channel is not them we're about to do it right. It's we're just putting you in the spreadsheet. Yeah.
got it.
at
Yeah,
least to
remember
start right
a
now.
while back when we got raided by that weird YouTuber?
No.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That
Because,
was so long
Pig
ago.
Sparkles. That's the only
No,
YouTuber
no.
I recognize.
But it was.
It's
it
the only
was af-
YouTuber I subscribe to.
It was afterwards that we talked about doing positivity rating,
Yeah,
where
correct.
where,
Right.
where we would have streams where we would jump in.
That is a thing, by the way.
Yeah.
There are definitely groups that do that.
Well, we'll sue them because
which
we
is-
invented it.
But the only problem with that positivity rating thing is
Mhm.
it's there was a This American Life where they talked about flash mobs, and there was a group that did a flash mob for this small indie band that was
Oh yeah, that
had
was
nobody
Improv
ever show up to
Everywhere. Yep.
Yeah, had nobody
That was-
show up to their concert, and usually, they were doing a small regional tour, with their small band, and
Yep.
they had these people basically make their own T-shirts about the band,
Memorize
listen
all
to
the
all
lyrics.
the music, memorize all the lyrics, and then they call it best gig ever is what they called it, and they had all these people show up to this gig and then have just this blowout show, and they talked to the band members about it and how it was the greatest thing ever. Because it was just oh my god, the crowd was so into it, and it was the best gig ever. But then after that, they go to their next show, no
Yeah.
one's there, and then they said that was maybe not as bad because they still really enjoyed being able to do that performance. And you talk to some of the Improv Everywhere people, and they said they had a great time listening to the band too. But there's no lasting gain out of it. You know what I mean? It's like a short
Yeah.
time high for
Yeah.
a not long term subscriber gain. You know, and like what does that really help? You know what I mean? Like it's great. It's much better than people rating just to be dicks. But like, I
Well,
guess it's not that bad. I mean,
what
like
you gotta
I'm just
do
saying that
is-
that's a crazy, insane level to go at it. Of, like memorize lyrics and all this shit. You know, it's whereas like positivity rating is just be like, let's check out this guy streaming and say, hey, how you doing? You know, and then that's it. That's better than nothing if you're a streamer. You know. Anyway, sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But can I tell you, and I'm stalling as I try to look up, can I tell you the saga of Threaten, the greatest band of all time?
Threaten?
Yep.
No, I don't know that. Is.
THREATIN. This is a person that bought followers on everything, faked the like band success, and then successfully booked a European tour on that. So what you gotta do is, if you get Improv Everywhere, you gotta take a lot of video, show that to a lot of people that can then give you more opportunities, and just fucking roll with it. Just scam your way to the top, baby.
That's true. I mean, like that's just kind of how it works.
Yeah.
Like it's so stupid. Like we talked about this way back when in Twitter, when I bought like 1,000 followers for me and Lance, because I think on the website 1,000 followers is like $10 or something. So I was like, why
Yeah.
not? Let's fucking do that, and it worked. But I don't think it made my account look any more professional than it was because it was just literally 1,000
No.
followers. Like that's not that crazy. But
That
like
that was
you
right
could
around.
see buying 20, 30,000 followers and then getting clout off of that.
Yeah,
what I
I mean,
mean?
it
'Cause when-
literally like boosts you in any search results, which gives you more legitimacy and stuff. I feel
Twitter
like
has
that's
heavily cracked down on that now.
yeah, that's
but-
not quite a thing as much anymore. But yeah, like especially in the early days of social media, if you could buy like a couple 100,000 followers, people didn't know that you could buy followers, so they would just see your page and be like, oh shit, this person's popular, they're legit, let's like interview them and stuff. And God, just thinking about
just
how
kinda how it
dumb
works.
people were when social media first started was it's just such an easy thing to take advantage of looking back on it.
Yeah, it's so stupid too because it just shows kind of the arbitrariness of what is content and what is people watching. Is that a lot of times it's just like people want to watch something because other people are watching it,
Yeah.
and they're like, okay, this must be popular because.
And it doesn't even have to get to the point of like the like social proof human psychology shit. Like you just will not show up on the page if people aren't watching you. So if a bunch of bots are watching you, you show up on the page and people click on it.
Yep, that's literally how Twitch works. Is that you are ranked by number of viewers on the game that you're playing. So it's like if you have 200 viewers on this game, you're going to show up at the top list, and then you will just organically get more people. Like you hear people talking about starting up a Twitch channel, and the hardest part is getting that critical mass
Yeah.
of like getting enough people that you show up near the top every time so that you're slowly trickling in new people. Or you'll even hear about people like Ninja and other like huge mega streamers that their biggest problem is that when you miss a day, you just get other people take that place when people are watching Twitch, and you lose viewership over that over time. So it's like you basically have to be
Full-time notifications, yeah.
And then
yeah, exactly. So it's just it's a nightmare.
I promise we'll
It's
get
just
back
the
to
way it
hate
is.
raids, but one thing I've noticed through like some of the work I'm doing with Mercury is that like because TikTok is set up to just be completely frictionless, it's like finding a new TikTok to watch is supposed to be the easiest thing on the planet. So then you get to like 1 million followers, but then when you take that and you try to convince any amount of those people to do anything outside of TikTok, it's like such a small number because it's
TikTok is so insular. It's all like contained within itself.
yeah, and it's all just I want to watch something, so I'm watching something. It's not I have like a deeply invested kind of thing with this like person that I'm watching. It's a very shallow level of fandom, but then you also have like the deeper fans coming in there, and I'm like just trying to figure out how the fuck do I find those people.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, what the fuck would be the future? You know, like, I think the future would be, would you do a YouTube channel where you could do longer form videos and actually gain?
Yeah,
Because the thing is, like, YouTube is one of those things that gains a dedicated fan base, or at least in the way I am, is I have YouTube channels I subscribe to, and I'm going on YouTube and looking at the stuff I subscribe to. I never go on trending. Because, like, what do I care? Everyone's watching dog shit. Like, I have my 5 or 6 creators that I watch every video they put out on. So, like, whereas TikTok to me is just an endless scroll of shit. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, that was cool. Or, oh, Mercury, that video was neat. Slip to the next one. You know what I mean? There's no, like, engagement there. Whereas, like, YouTube is like, I could sit down for 20 minutes and watch
the way I'm kind of, like, starting to see social media stuff is kind of like slime mold, where you if you're trying to do the online, you're trying to make a living as an online person, you have to be slime mold, just constantly put up feelers everywhere, and then
always moving on to the next
the ones
thing,
that hit something stay alive, the other ones die. And then at the end, somebody looks at it, and you have the illusion of intelligence in this process, but it's really fucking tried everything.
Yeah, I mean, that's as a now ant keeper.
Yep.
There they are. That's how ants work too. The way the workers work is they are just sending out workers in every direction and leaving little pheromone trails. And when a worker finds food, they come back and lay another pheromone trail, and then all the other ants just randomly will hit that trail and be like, "Oh, this is the food trail," and then they follow it. And so they just that's why you get that like line of ants moving. It's because they found a little highway, because they're just sending their feelers out everywhere, and then one of them hits and comes back, and then everybody's like, oh shit, this is the way to go.
And if you really need to rally everyone back to the hive, and like you what you do is you select that group and you set them to ignore food and enemies, and they'll go directly to your waypoint. And then once you get there, you have to remember, turn back on enemy detection, otherwise they'll sit in your hive while your queen fucking dies.
Yeah, I prefer just a fast Mutalisk rush personally. That solves everything. That's what I'm trying with the ants over there, is I'm trying to get them to research Mutalisks real fast so I can get
you need more Vespene gas.
That's true. I don't have enough Vespene gas here, honestly. That's a big problem.
God.
So hate raids suck, huh?
For this.
We talked about that, like, Blizzard a little bit before the show, but man, I really could go for some Brood Wars right now. All right, TJ, what's the hate raid?
I thought about? So actually, wait, just a quick aside on Brood Wars. So I noticed, so they put out that StarCraft Classic Edition or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I already bought it. It's on sale this week for like $10, I think. I kind of want to play that now that we're talking about it. Anyway, I used to play so much of that in high school. All right, go ahead. Hate raids, TJ. Continue to elaborate on hate raids. So this, I saw, wasn't there like a Twitch people like
yeah, there was a
sitting
Day of
out on
Solidarity.
Twitch?
Yeah, September 1st. This Wednesday.
Yeah.
I think that was Wednesday. I don't remember anymore. But at least, I mean, Twitch at least has now made a statement. I don't know if they're really doing anything about it, but again, when it comes to bots, things happen on such a massive scale that, being able to moderate that even on a site-wide level is something that's difficult to do.
Well, Amazon's
with
a small
human,
company. They barely know anything about cybersecurity.
No. Amazon's an asshole company that barely bothers hiring enough people to do things.
Yeah, I do get the impression every once in a while that they're like, oh shit, do we still own Twitch?
Yeah.
Oh, we own that? Oh shit. That's crazy. So here we go. Twitch did respond. they're saying we've been building channel level ban evasion detection and account improvements to combat this malicious behavior for months. However, as we work on the solutions, these bad actors are working in parallel to find ways around them, and which is why we're not sharing many details. They're trying to, I guess, not talk about what they're doing because they don't want the people that are coming up with ways around it to know
Yeah.
what they're trying to do to fix it. So
Yeah, it's
it
the
does
same
sound like a
reason
real.
YouTube never talks about how the algorithm works.
Well,
'Cause-
part of that is also they don't know, because they've
I guess
Is
it's
it-
probably
is it the-
machine
is
learning
it-
and shit.
Is it the
Yes,
evil AI?
no, it's just machine learning.
Okay.
You know, so they built, hey, we want to increase X, so it just machine learning, blah 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 blah, and now, you know, you can look at the whole thing of code, and not there's no one person that can tell you, well, this is exactly why it works this way. We just
Yeah.
know they could say, they're not going to say, but they could say this is our goal, and the algorithm's programmed by bots who do bots and whatever. Yeah, I'm now talking about bot on bot, hot
Bot on bot porn.
action.
We'll get there.
Yep.
In like as a pretty novice programmer, anytime I hear about how like machine learning stuff is made, it's so confusing. It's like, oh, here's this program I made. Oh, cool. How's it work? Oh, fuck. I don't know.
Have you not watched the CGP Grey video on machine learning?
Oh yeah, but it's
Yeah.
still like the fact that
I mean-
you're making a program, and instead of just making it, you're setting up the environment for it to evolve on its own. It's just fucking weird.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, the fundamentals of survival of the fittest programming. You know, you're just talking about nodes and modules and linear algebra and this and that, and you know, doing a bunch of dials is really the end game. Is trying to find the right arrangement of dials to get things to work.
Yeah. I
But,
imagine you die and you like God's like, hey, and you're like, hey, how does it work? And they're like, well, okay, so what I did, and I'm pretty sure this is how it works. I set up a bunch of rules. There's like gravity and shit, and then it kind of just happened.
Yep.
I'm just looking at. I just went on YouTube on incognito mode to see what the top trending was. It's absolute dog shit.
For TikTok, did you say, or Twitter?
No, on YouTube. I went on YouTube just to see what number one trending is.
Millennial
It's just
TikTok.
It's just absolute trash. Like it's all. Not all trash, like at least, like I hate Mr. Beast because it's awful, but he puts time into his videos and makes them.
Yep.
Whereas
it doesn't matter how
fucking
many.
the Nazi sniper wolf lady has
The
a video
Elsa?
up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a Nazi. She has SS in her name. She's on
Isn't
here and
she
it's just
fictional?
literally it's literally her channel is her reacting to TikToks. The channel. Like if you look at it, that's every single video.
Oh no,
is
this
half
is
the screen
this is
TikTok.
somebody else, right? Like this is
No,
somebody
this
we
is
looked at
SS
before.
Sniper Wolf. It's the name
Yeah,
of it. We
SS.
talked.
No,
yeah.
I was talking about Ilsa, She-Wolf of the SS, which is.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I think she probably named her character
Yeah.
after. I mean,
Yeah,
I
probably.
wouldn't put it past her because she was originally a Call of Duty streamer. So
Yeah.
she's probably a Nazi. And she's white. So I guess she could be a black Nazi. Do those exist?
Blotzy.
Blotzy.
I mean,
Probably
I don't know.
rarer. I would say it's a little more difficult.
There's group I think they would really bristle at being called Nazis, but there are groups that have similar ideology.
Pro-fascists.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Mr. Beast has a $500,000 game of tag, and then we've got like a lot, but the thing is that like a lot of this is also like The Voice, best of The Voice, best of UK's Got Talent. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of shit in here, but then there's of course the YouTube. I mean, it's fucking garbage. A lot of this is Mr. Beast videos.
Most of my casual YouTube stuff I watch is fucking assholes. Well, not even assholes, but just
Pictures
whatever
of
the
assholes.
whatever the asshole of the day who's teaching calculus or algebra,
Mm.
because I'm a casual mathematician now because I can't go to school anymore.
Dude, my fucking YouTube channel, like viewing lately has been I've been watching the what's the crazy MIT lectures in intro to nuclear engineering. That's what I've been watching, just lectures about nuclear engineering. Fucking YouTube is great. Like it's so good.
You should check out search for Half-Life Histories by Kyle Hill. They're very spooky stories.
No, yeah, I love Kyle Hill. I love his stuff. I subscribe to him.
TJ, you're just like, you watch bad math teachers for fun?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, I like specifically look out and watch good content, like good things.
Whereas I'll watch like 3 blue 1 brown or 3 brown 1 blue or like red pen black pen because
you're saying these like these
nerd.
are things everybody knows, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, or if I want to watch stuff for the plebe version of me, that's where I watch the Tom Scott shit or episodes of Only Connect from BBC or whatever.
Okay, I feel a little attacked because I feel really smart when I watch Tom Scott.
Yep. No, it's good stuff.
I would definitely say like the lowest form of content is the reaction video. And that is like the algorithm like big thing right now at this moment is just everyone
it's a
ridiculously
dystopian thing too, because it's just like, hey, I really want to be in a room with people that are watching the same thing I watch.
Well, and the thing is too is that like I watch a lot of channels where they'll like H3 used to do a lot of this, where he would do reaction videos, and now he just like smokes cigarettes and does a podcast. But at least all I've ever seen on his channel is just his podcast now.
Okay, but cigarettes are pretty cool.
Oh, he's just always smoking in the
By the way, I'm
just, like...
sponsored by Philip Morris now. Those videos where he would do like commentary would be not like a reaction video. Like there would be moments where he would react to parts in the video, but it's mostly like a commentary on the video, and like doing research and like what they call
looking
a video
into
SC.
And that's something I got way into recently on YouTube. Is I don't know if you've heard of the content creator Drew Gooden.
Nope.
But he has a YouTube channel, so you may remember him from Vine. As the road work ahead, yeah, I sure hope it does.
Yeah.
But his YouTube channel is all just like short video essays, but they're great. Like it's awesome. Like, and they're really funny, and it's like I'm just glad that this exists because it's just that's the type of that's what what's his name did, Cody Ko. Like a lot of the people that were like huge on Vine now just have YouTube channels that are like good because they put a lot of time and effort into creating good scripted content. Like he puts a video out a month. He spends an entire month on a 15-minute video of him like watching this terrible VH1 show, or like, hey, I subscribed to cable because sports is back on, and I watched what cable TV shows are now and make fun of all these terrible shows. And that's great. That's a great content. But the thing now is like literally just here's a bunch of clips of viral TikToks, and here's me doing reaction faces to it for a thumb art.
Here's a fun shorthand for if you're trying to find out if this new channel that you've stumbled on is right for you. If you look at all of the comments and you say, like the majority of them are saying like, man, I wish that like you uploaded more often, and then you look and you see the most recent video that they're still uploading so that they haven't abandoned it, that means they probably put time into shit. And when you do get an upload, it's going to be like a good one.
Yeah, and then that's like the problem with like the what's her name, as the Nazi sniper wolf lady is she is just a video a day. It's just bam, 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 content.
And that's what
how they keep.
That's what the algorithm incentivizes.
Yep.
The algorithm does not incentivize good stuff, just consistent stuff.
Which is why basing a content platform on an algorithm seems like the worst thing you could do.
Well, especially an algorithm that you don't know fucking how it works.
I know. It's so stupid. And it's the way that YouTube works though, because when you watch, because Drew Gooden did a video in early 2020 where he talked about, or 2021 where he talked about, let's leave prank videos in 2020, because if you remember back on YouTube maybe 5 years ago, like prank videos, like just a prank bro, that shit was huge.
It's just
And
a
then it
prank,
went
bro.
away.
No, it's kind of assault.
And then it went away, and now it's come back. And it's because the algorithm has just said videos with prank in the title, that's what people are watching. Bring that up. And so all these channels that are just people doing whatever are like, okay, we got to do prank content again because that's what's hot now. And it's just like this algorithm is just shifting between the worst shit in the world. And all these people just have to scramble. Like for a while it was Spider-Man Elsa videos and everyone had to fucking do that. And it's just hilarious like to see all these like creator families doing all this garbage.
Do they still do the fun pranks, like the not harmful ones where somebody points a gun at a child for a little while?
No, the Drew Gooden video I watched, actually, one of the pranks was I was kidnapped pranking my friends thinking that I was kidnapped. That seems like a great thing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Or like one huge thing that was going on all the fucking like YouTube vlog family that are a thing that's the worst thing I've ever heard of. Like these are families that just make vlogs.
Oh, family vlogs.
Like the
Okay.
like the kids and whatever in it. And like one of the pranks was like I fell down the stairs and I can't remember anything. The prank. So the prank is like I'm gonna go home to mom and like prank her, thinking that I'm like seriously injured. Ha! So fun. And the best part is that the acting is so bad. Like there is so nothing believable about any of it for anyone watching. It is just like 12 million views. Like who the fuck is watching this?
Just go on
so
TikTok
bad.
and search for like couples pranks or whatever. It's like terrible.
TikTok is the same problem with YouTube because they're doing the same shit where they have this algorithm. And then, but the nice thing about
TikTok leans more on the algorithm.
Yeah. The thing is though, is like the algorithm does work in a way because you get great content like Mercury's videos that got pulled up because it's a unique, great concept and they're good videos.
Yeah.
But you also are just pulling up the laziest garbage possible because the algorithm is also rewarding trash as well, well as good content.
Like, and I haven't like looked into it a ton recently or read about it, but as far as I know, the TikTok algorithm only incentivizes time on the app. So anything that increases time on the app is what gets like elevated.
And the thought that YouTube, it's about watch time, total watch time. So very similar.
Mm-hmm. Because the more time you spend on the app, the more ads you might see.
That is why every single YouTube video from like a big time content creator, not from like the people that I mostly subscribe to, but they'll be like, watch to the end. You don't want to skip the end. And it's because they want you to watch the entire video because they get more algorithm points, they think, because nobody is telling them exactly what it is, because you've watched a 30-minute video instead of watch the first 5 minutes and stop, because that's worth nothing to them. It's just,
what's
people
crazy?
base their careers off of this.
What's crazy about that?
That's what's crazy to me.
We're in this world where it's just like accepted that if it's free, it's ad supported. So of course it incentivizes whatever's better for selling ads. But like, try to think of a world where YouTube exists and we hadn't already settled on that model for TV.
It does
and
for me. I pay for YouTube. I never get ads.
I mean, okay, but that's the same thing, right? Where if it's free, it's ads. If you pay for it, you don't have to see the ads. It's just thinking about how the funding model influences the content, and then if you're big enough, like YouTube, the content influences culture, and like it ripples out like that. It's just. Yeah. These like deals with the devil we've made that are just like, oh yeah, it's always free content's always ad supported. Like, There's
That's
a
the
world
problem
where
I
that
have.
doesn't exist, and I have no idea
Yeah.
what it looks like.
That's the problem I have with a lot. Not the problem I have with it, but one thing I worry about with like content creators that I like watching on YouTube is how much are they going to change what they're doing to work for the algorithm? And I worry that because it's like I really enjoy watching these people, but there's a couple channels that I used to watch every day. Like for
Yeah.
instance, like Yogg's Cast channel, I used to watch all the time because I love their little like videos of them playing games for like 10 or 6, 10 or 20 episodes, doing a Minecraft, adventure map with a bunch of people or stuff like that. They don't do that anymore. It's literally just we're going to do one-off game videos that aren't
Yeah.
part of a series, and it's like they completely changed the way their content is, and it's like this sucks.
And
I liked watching the long form videos. Like
this isn't.
now
It's not new at all. It's the same thing as my super rad, awesome punk band joined a label, and now they're real toned down and
you're
not
totally
doing-
right.
Like it's. I mean, I don't know.
They sold out, man.
I don't know.
Uh-huh.
It's capitalism infects everything, and I don't know a way
Uh-huh.
around it.
Exactly. But it's just so disappointing because there's no alternative. The only alternative is creating your own video site,
Yeah,
which isn't real.
I'm sure
Like,
Republicans have like a YouTube now, right?
So
Or is
this
that
is
too
my
expen-
thought. It's like,
Is the video storage too expensive?
so yeah, this is my thought. Is that storage is always getting cheaper. Just not maybe recently, but in general, we're able to store more and more. How does this not exist? Like, this is my business plan, so don't steal this. I've mailed this to myself.
We need to pause
But-
everything. This is no longer a podcast. This is a business meeting. And
Yeah,
by
this is a business
watching it,
meeting,
you
please.
agree that we own all of the ideas.
I'm gonna put a tie on here. So my thought is, how is there not like a Patreon for YouTube, if that makes sense? Like where you
Pay
have
Howard?
where you have a YouTube like platform where you can put videos up
Okay.
and people can pay to subscribe to your channel. I think that exists, right?
Yes.
I saw that there are some
the
streamers
issue
working on this
you
new
run
network.
into is if it's paid from the beginning, you're
Mhm.
going to have an adoption problem because
Yeah.
nothing is easier to get into than free. So even if it's a really low price, you're going to limit growth, and maybe you want to do that because you're trying to control the type of person that patronizes this platform, right? Like you're trying to make it, this is a place for people who make stuff and people who financially support things that they like. Well, you're limiting the numbers, and all the internet cares about is the raw numbers. And if you have 100 really, really dedicated fans watching your thing, and you're always going to lose out to the person that has 10,000 people that are kind of interested.
You know what would be interesting? I think maybe a better solution to this could be let's like built like what Steam has done is a curation system, a content curation system.
Yeah.
So this is something I don't know if you use on Steam, but I don't think a lot of people do, but I think it's a pretty genius idea. The idea is that you can become a Steam content curator just by being a person who likes to go through and thumbs up, thumbs down games and review games.
Oh, really?
And I follow a few of these on that, and you can just look at their curation of games of like, hey, here's some interesting games,
yeah.
because they have so many games on Steam now that which is where I think YouTube would be great for that, because I worry because this Drew Gooden guy who I watched on we used to watch on Vine and all this stuff, as I didn't realize he had a YouTube channel and he has millions of viewers. Like every video gets like 3 or 4 million views. I had never heard of this until now, and I really enjoy it because
Yeah.
the algorithm just didn't push it to me because it didn't think it would be something I was interested in.
I love the idea of like curators, and I think Spotify
Yeah.
also does this pretty well. You definitely have to be careful about your curating selection processes and like be aware of biases there. But
Well, that's the whole point. That's the whole point of like the way Steam works, is that you just find a curator that you like and subscribe to them.
Right.
You know, and so with that, would you just be like, oh, I like the way this guy picks videos that he wants to watch. Let's just follow him.
But then
and see.
you have
And-
somebody whose their whole motivation is I love finding cool treasures, and it's not a financial motivation. It's not a advertisement. Like, it is the best motivation for content to exist, and I think there is a way to make that also be an okay business.
Well, that's why I'm saying on
it's
YouTube they
perfect.
should allow for some tweaking of that algorithm, because I think the biggest problem I have with YouTube is I watch only like X channels because I never go on trending.
Yeah.
And the only time I ever find something new is I'll be watching, one of my like 10 channels I subscribe to and watch, the content of, and then I'll see a new video pop up in my you might like, feed that's not from a creator that I'm used to, and I'll be like, that looks interesting. I'll watch it and I'll be like, oh, this guy's been on the fucking platform for 5 years and has all these amazing videos. How did I never watch this? Because it never suggested it to me, because I just feel like the algorithm just doesn't do a good job of pulling new stuff into you.
All YouTube wants me to watch is this dude's video essay on Bill Burnham. Like, I've seen it suggested to me to 1,000 times.
I love that too. When you get the same thing showing up and you not clicking on it, it's like, why?
It's like, I
Why do
haven't
you
watched
keep
it because I
suggesting
haven't
this?
seen the Bill Burnham thing. Like, I don't know.
Watch it, Matt. It's fucking great.
But it's gonna make me sad, and I don't like feeling emotions.
It doesn't make you sad.
Okay.
Spanky way oversold it. There are sad parts, but I think overall it is cathartic maybe at the end. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's just interesting, when YouTube keeps pushing this one video and you're like, I don't want to watch this. But you clearly
I was
think
gonna
I do.
mention the YouTube has the same problem that a lot of stuff has when Google buys it, where like they're so big and they try to create these platforms that include everybody in the world, and that's, you can't moderate that with human beings, so they try to automate it, and then they go, okay, we wrote this automation, oh shit, our automation had unintended consequences, shit, well, I guess we'll do more automation to fix that. And then eventually, usually what happens with Google is they're like, this is harder than we thought, I'm bored, and then they throw it in the trash.
Yeah, I think one great thing about YouTube though is thumbnails, and I can usually tell whether or not I want to watch a video based on the thumbnail.
Because you want a really like intense face and a white outline, right?
I was about to say, because of any video that has someone making a weird reaction face and then emojis, I instantly know I'm never going to watch that.
But that's the
That's
thing.
really,
If you're trying to make a living on this platform, even if the content you provide is like top notch and not clickbaity, you have to do this. You have to play the thumbnail game. You have to play the title game. Otherwise, you're gonna starve. It's
it's
it
really
forces
funny.
you
but
into this thing.
It's really funny, but it's also like, I mean, that YouTube's tweaked the algorithm where the thumbnail game isn't as big as it used to be, because like you watch channels like Game Grumps, they don't do any of that thumbnail shit, still get 300,000 views on every video. It's just, they did for a while. You'll see channels switch the way they did thumbnails, and they're like, it doesn't make a difference.
Well, that's
because I don't
another
think
thing
it
where
really does.
the most like pro tip, if you're gonna start a YouTube channel and you want to like really be good in search results, invent a time machine and start it in 2007, and you'll be great.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too is that like the thumbnail is like literally the only thing that you get. It's like, when you think about it, there were, for movies, for TV shows or whatever, there was entire marketing departments behind creating that poster for this movie. And that's exactly what you're doing on YouTube, because this is the blockbuster wall of video titles, and you're like, well, what am I going to rent today? And it's like that.
In a different world now. We went from a world where we're just fucking starving for something to distract us from reality. Like, please release a new movie. I need it. And now it's just, there's so much shit that like it's, the default is I'm watching something. The change is, oh fuck, I need to turn this off and like listen to birds or something.
Yeah. So, I've been down a YouTube hole recently that just reminded me of this. Um, I have gotten into a YouTube channel called Hobo Shoestring.
Okay.
And it's literally a dude who is the 4K camera and he hitches on trains. And that's the channel. And he's talking about how you can set up like solar panels to get your phone charged. Let's see here. Here's his gear and shit. This is how you can sleep in one of these grain cars. Let me get in. He goes inside it. He's just showing up his cool wind power setup here. Yeah, so you
I
kind of
don't know if
sneak
your
in one of
video
these.
is stuttering on your end, but it's stuttering for me. I'd still watch
Okay,
it
it's fine.
though.
It's probably just Discord doesn't like it. But anyway, so it's literally just this guy like hitchhiking
Yeah.
and like jumping on trains. But like, I fucking love this shit.
Now, does
It's
it
fucking
bother you
crazy.
that he's not a hobo?
He is a hobo.
No, no, no.
He talks about going to the hobo. Apparently, there's a hobo world convention in Iowa every year, and
Hobo.
they crown a
Hobo.
hobo prince.
Hobo is a portmanteau of homeward bound. This man has no home. He's a drifter.
Oh,
Now,
Ooh,
there's a lot of
he-
problematic history with the term drifter.
Now, he
so I
is- he
understand
does have a
why you'd
home.
wanna- Oh, okay. But he's not going to.
well, he talks about when he is home. He doesn't have a home, but anyway, yeah. There's a Jawtooth Brit, all of his hobo pals in the Brit Iowa National Hobo Convention. Anyway, this is a channel I've been getting way into. Is
No, that's super.
But that-
like, post. Please,
That's what I
please
love
post
about
that on
YouTube,
the
is you-
YouTube thing because I.
is
I'm
you can
into
just
that.
find it, and this is a real ass hobo. Like this guy has part of his hand is gone. I don't know why, but it's gone. He's missing a lot of teeth, and he probably voted for Trump. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
just from the way that he talks. But
Yeah, you can respect like that kind of shit, like rural shit, and like just making the best out of a
he doesn't
desperate
talk
situation.
about anything about that though. You know what I
And
mean? Like
realize
he just
that
hates cops.
probably in their
they-
world, they probably have a different set of politics than you, probably, because it's a very different world.
I don't know. I just imagine. You know, maybe he isn't. You know what I mean? But I just imagine. I think he might be a veteran. I don't know. I've been watching this, but it's pretty interesting. Like literally, his videos are just him hiding outside a train yard, looking at trains as they go by to see if there's a boxcar that's open. Like, you know, that he can see that is empty, that he can jimmy his way into
Yeah.
and like sleep in a boxcar.
So does he do like itinerant work and stuff to like?
I don't
do they
think
get
so.
into
I think
that
he
at all, or is
honestly-
it
I mean,
mostly
his-
like sleeping accommodations and stuff?
The thing that's really opened up my eyes to this is that like this is like, and I don't know if you saw the movie No Man's Land, but this is like a
Not yet.
legit thing that people have gotten into.
Yeah, because
Is
I feel like it's
just
gonna make me feel
why-
feelings, and I don't want to do that.
But this definitely doesn't do that. It is very matter of fact. Him, John about just rambling about hobo things that he's done, and him being like, this really technical train information that clearly you've gained over decades of like jumping on and off trains and understanding like how they work and how train yards work.
Yeah,
Uh,
I just
Yeah,
I
so-
love like where depending on where you were born and what you grew up in, you kind of have this idea of the way life is supposed to work. And I just love the people that
Yeah.
are like, nah, fuck that. Here's
and
a
that's kinda
completely
what-
different way to do
Yeah.
that.
And that's kind of what Nomadland is about. And what this is about is the guy's like, I don't need to have a place to live. I can just go wherever the fuck I want for free and like have enough money just doing basic shit to eat. You know what I mean? Like it isn't expensive to live if you don't have to pay for rent or a mortgage. You know what I mean? Like the basic human necessities are not expensive in this world, you know? It's just we've kind of built ourselves into this, like you said, Matt. We've all gotten used to the way of living the way that we live, and
Yeah.
it's just like
Like,
kind of interesting. This whole world exists.
it kind of reminds me of this subreddit I've been reading lately, where you kind of get the idea that things are the way they are because they're supposed to be, and it's like, nah. Some of the stuff you were brought up in is bad and dumb, and maybe you should just get the vaccine.
Oh,
That reminds me of we can go to the other subreddit you're going to talk about here in a second. I think you're doing the transition, but that just reminds me of college. I took a course where we read a book called Beyond Civilization, and it like fucking blew my mind. In college was like the whole point was civilization was built in a certain way, as
Yeah.
like going from hunter gatherer to subsistence farming to agriculture to the way, and is that the best way?
Civilization.
It's just the way it is because it's how it started.
Civilization
good?
is like, it's like Windows. It was built on top of Unix, and it's like so many of the things that just are the way they are. There's reasons going back, and they could be completely different. And like, maybe
This is a Unix system.
I know this.
Sorry,
Uh,
I know this.
what I'm saying is
Every time I
maybe,
hear the word Unix, I think of that quote.
maybe we should just turn it off and on again.
Yeah, but that was like the whole point of that course was just like looking at the way society has like been created and like why we do things the way we do.
But it's
And-
also understandable because, like, to reset, you need revolution. A revolution is bloody and has a lot of collateral damage, and I understand why it's just easier to
Yeah, you know what I'm saying
just
is
try
just
and patch
Venezuela
the
knows what
system
they're
that you have.
doing.
Oh,
Let's
Jesus.
do it. North Korea, yeah, they got great ideas there. Anyway, we get super tanky on y'all. No. Let's talk about the other Reddit you talked about.
Oh no,
that
I
you've
don't want to talk
gotten
about
way
it
into.
too much because people will think I'm a bad person.
I'm not going to say that you've been into this. I'll say I've been into this, or I've heard of this.
I
and
will
it's gotten
say
big recently.
I have a fascination with it. I do not
There you
enjoy
go.
it. I have a fascination with it that I cannot stop. It's almost becoming a compulsion.
I'll
But it's
say
like
I
a-
enjoy it.
No, but
I-
it's but it's
I-
but
well,
it's gone
that's the
huge.
thing. I enjoyed it at first because there's just.
Can you
well, and-
describe what this is before you get into it? This is the Herman Cain Awards Reddit.
Yes, this is
And
about
it's
somebody
based
that's
on
very good at
Herman
selling
Cain,
pizza.
no, it's based on Herman Cain,
Mm,
who publicly tweeted about how the virus was a joke and fake, and then he died of the virus,
and then he continued
that-
to tweet.
and then he continued to tweet after death. But that's not really what this is about. But
Yeah.
this whole Reddit is built on people joking about the virus.
And I
then getting
want to
it.
say that this isn't a subreddit that makes light of people that died of the virus or the virus in general. Or like the vast majority of people that died from this are not like people that would end up on the subreddit. The subreddit
Correct.
is, each post is like a 14 picture long album of just like
Uh-huh.
social media posts from a person, and going in if they're nominated or if they've won the award.
You know where it ends.
But yeah, it's basically just like going back to usually early 2020, them just like there's like a spectrum. It's like either the virus is fake or it's not that big of a deal or
just
whatever.
flu.
And then eventually, spoiler alert, you win the award when you die of
Yeah,
COVID.
it's usually about, you see like when you get down to like 3 or 4 posts left, it's usually like not feeling well today, and you're like, oh, there we go.
Yeah,
there
no,
it is.
Sometimes I try not to, like on at least the Reddit mobile app, there's a little dot that shows you how many pictures are
Uh-huh.
left. I try not to look at that because if I see there's only 2 pictures left, I'm like, well, that just spoiled the ending.
So
No, but I
Go ahead.
I started watching this just because I love like justice boner bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
I really love seeing mugshots after January 6th. But
well, it's just like, it's like the instant karma. Like
just
that's you get it right there.
yeah, but that's the surface level, and then you think deeper, and it's like these are actual human people. They have a brain that's almost identical to mine. How the fuck does this happen? And also, why am I seeing so many patterns happen over and over and over again? I mean, I don't have any answers. I haven't figured it out, but I can't stop trying to find them.
I mean, you'll see like a lot of people like be like seem to be super religious, and it really is weird to me, and it's always been weird to me when people get super religious about medical care.
Yeah.
And especially being anti-vaccine, because they're like, oh, well, God gave us the immune system. And it's like, God also made the scientists that created this fucking vaccine.
Yeah,
He gave us the tools to cure ourselves. And you're choosing not to take it for some reason. Like, why draw the line arbitrarily at, I'm not going to take the vaccine, and then also say, but I will go on a ventilator.
And I will take horse worms.
Like, what the shit?
But
it's just, it's like the mental gymnastics going on.
There's a level of cognitive dissonance that I honestly aspire to, because it seems like a super easy way to live, where they're like, you'll see them saying, no, I'm not going to take the vaccine. I'm not going to wear a mask, blah, 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 blah. And then when they get sick, it's sometimes 2 days later, and it's, why did God do this to me? Why are you testing me? It's like, how do you not see the connection?
It's just like, yeah. So you talked about like kind of, maybe bringing some humanity to this, but like to me, this shit I really don't feel a lot of remorse for.
No, I mean, I feel remorse for the friends and family that have to deal with this loss, but
sure.
It's really more of they have like this
to get a hermit.
Effectively, all humans essentially have the same brain, unless if you had some kind of injury.
Yeah, defect or something. Yeah.
Like, why is theirs so different from mine, and why can't I understand it?
Yeah. So you're just fascinated by that.
I'm just and then I because I am who I am, I started like second guessing, like, do I believe stupid shit? Am I gonna die from the dumb shit I believe? How would I know? They didn't know. I might not know.
Yeah. So that's like kind of the hand wringing that I've seen some people talking about the Herman Cain Awards and making light of people dying. And to me, the whole point of the Herman Cain Awards is it vets that stuff out.
Yeah.
Like they're selecting the people that actively were telling their friends and family and actively spreading misinformation and lies to other people.
And honestly,
possibly causing thousands upon thousands of uncountable deaths. Like these people, I've called it, they're pro-virus. They're helping the virus right now by doing this, by going on Facebook.
Pro-virus is misleading because they're not intentionally promoting the virus. They're just dumb and ignorant, and like to call somebody pro something like Democrats aren't pro-abortion.
They recognize the same thing about saying like why the Republicans are pro-Nazis, and they're like, well, we don't, just because they follow us doesn't mean we're pro. Just because our policies align with all of these horrible white supremacists doesn't mean we're white supremacists. I mean,
guess. I don't know. I feel like that language is sticky.
Logically. Like,
specifically in this situation, I feel like the language is important because like ideally the idea is to reach these people and change their mind. And
but there's no way.
If it starts as you're pro-virus and they're like, no, I don't like the virus, and then that's just where conversation ends. I don't know.
Well, to me, I mean, that's just the way that it's going to be, because I mean, when you think about it, when you talked earlier about, do I believe stupid shit that's going to get me in trouble? And my answer is no, Matt. I know you and I know me. And we are the type of people that look up information online, get it from multiple sources, and talk to people and can change our minds when we've been wrong about things. And that is the fundamental difference with a lot of these people, is that they just will not look at questioning themselves. They would never have the question you had is, am I thinking stupid shit too? They've never had that realization.
And I think that's the thing that keeps me like addicted to this subreddit. It's like I don't understand how you think. It's so different than the way that my brain works, and it's like it's just crazy.
More importantly, what ends up happening once they do get facts or whatnot, even from multiple sources, is you deal with the backfire effect. Or is that what it's called? Yeah, the backfire effect.
Yeah.
Where in order to maintain their sense of self, they will dig in the ground even more when confronted with opposing evidence.
Yeah,
and that's the thing that
listeners,
bothers me.
If you want to hear more about that, check out "You Are Not So Smart." It's a great podcast, a couple of great books. I'm really fascinated by that idea. But basically, the result of looking into the backfire effect is you just can't change people's minds.
That's what I was saying. Is like it's pointless. But no, what I was saying is that it's not pointless. I mean, it comes down to education, and you need to have good science education, and you need to have people taught to constantly question your beliefs and to question your thought process. And that's why, like me, I have a degree in science. This is how I was brought. Is literally you never look at something as concrete, as black and white or solid, because there's always you could always test it. You know what I mean? Like everything, you know, there's a reason why it's called a theory. You know, there's certain laws of physics that exist, you know, but there's, you know what I mean? It's just like nothing is ever stable. You're always questioning everything.
Laws are weaker than scientific theory, though.
Sure.
Laws
I mean, it's a bad example because
isn't a law just like a limited thing, like it's an immutable part of the universe in theory is like an explanation.
Not even
something?
necessarily.
No.
Newton's laws of motions, for the most part, have 90% been disproven.
Because
of relativity.
Newton's laws work for the Earth mostly. One of the most mind-blowing things I learned.
Are you telling me each action doesn't have an equal and opposite reaction?
Newton's laws work on a scale of less than about half a galaxy.
Yeah.
And then you're fine, you know, with a very small margin of error.
That's one of my favorite things I learned about.
Is it wrong if it works on human scale? Like, I don't know.
Well, no, that's the whole point. Is that it doesn't really matter, and that's one of the awesome, mind blowing things of this last pandemic. I've just been really getting into it, like watching physics lectures and stuff. Is that learning like the basic physics equations that you do for like force and like things is like, yeah, you do them, but the correct way to do them would be to use the universal constant speed of light in these calculations, because it needs to be in there. And so it's like all of these things you need to add in that are like, it's like 99.99% what you would have gotten if you would have done the shorthand way.
99.999, you're gonna have to record all of the positions of every subatomic particle in the world.
It's really, it's really interesting that it's like we just hand wave all this shit, and that's why like the Newton laws are like, yeah, they're right, basically. You know,
like, all of science is it's an estimation.
And that's why I think that's why that people need to be taught that from a young age, is that you need to constantly question your sources and like constantly be reevaluating your worldview around others. And I think that that's a hard thing to do, because you have to admit to yourself that you're not always right, and some people just can't do that.
It's also, I've noticed a lack of ability to like imagine bigger concepts.
I mean,
like one thing is, and sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
The idea that like these people thought, oh, you have to continue to wear a mask if you're vaccinated. That means the vaccination doesn't work. No, that means the vaccination increases your chance of survival, decreases your chance of catching it. You can still catch it. It still can mutate when it goes into your body and goes to somebody else. It's like there's a lot of other things that your simplified idea doesn't include.
It's the same idea about, you know, well, it's still not so bad. You know, heart disease and cancer still kills more people than this virus, even though heart disease is a number of interconnected diseases.
Correct. It's
the
like
end of the day-
comparing the population of New York City to Asia. Like,
Yeah.
well, New York City's not that big. Asia's got way more people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they're not the same thing. There's a false equivalence you're making here.
But yeah, complex things can have complex solutions.
Uh-huh.
Simple things can have complex solutions.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how good a solution feels to you
Mhm.
or sounds right if it doesn't work.
Well, and then this gets back to the YouTube algorithm.
Yes.
I think people just like the easy, simple, black and white. Here's what's right. Here's what's wrong. I'll listen to this guy.
Yeah.
I don't have to think.
Same
just
thing
click
with
on
TikTok. If you're trying to increase user engagement time,
Uh-huh.
you want to decrease friction and obstacles, and you want to make it
Yep.
as easy as possible. Well,
Which completely
thinking about
ruins
complex
difficult
topics
things.
is
Yep.
friction. It's an obstacle. So that's
Uh-huh.
sort of like
I mean,
de-incentivized by the
one-
thing.
It's almost like the social media and the new like landscape of people communication has ruined people because it has been
I don't-
algorithmed out.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
think
know.
in this specific situation where
I mean,
like,
look at one fact I'm going to throw here. Facebook, I saw, had like 20 times more posts about misinformation about COVID than actual information about COVID on it.
okay,
It's like these like systems and their algorithms are just built to boost what's popular, and that is not always right. And it's what sucks is that we can't have systems built on not having human control in some
I'm gonna let
aspects.
TJ talk, and then I gotta say something.
So
Sure.
what you're saying, John, what you're trying to tell me is sometimes democracy doesn't come up with the right answer.
Somewhat, I
Profa
suppose.
t-shirt, TJ. No, I was so Corona it's a different situation in terms of social media because when somebody believes dumb shit, it has very real effects on the wider population and people.
Mhm.
But I think in general, like it's the responsibility of the world to not pay as much attention to social media. If people are saying dumb shit on Facebook, like, okay. People are complaining about Star Wars on Twitter, fine, but like, don't fire the director and
You're right.
get J.J. Abrams
You're
back.
right.
Like, it's
That's the problem.
when social media was new, it was this thing that nobody had seen before where they got direct feedback from huge quantities of people. But like Twitter is about 6% of the world and the posts are about like less than 10% of Twitter users.
Yeah.
It's not
I
a
think people
reflection
just
of
don't understand.
reality.
And that brings me back to like a bit of the science mindset and a bit of the ability to believe or to accept that you're wrong. And I think that's one thing that we have a huge problem with. You look at the previous president that we had, one of his biggest things was never admit fault. Never accept that you're wrong.
A specific small group of people know what kafifi means, and you're not part of it, so stop being jealous.
But like that's the thing is that it's a whole mindset that exists with a certain type of person, and it's just never admit you're wrong. Whereas like if you come from like a science background, you do an experiment 500 times, it's going to be wrong 499 times.
And the whole
Like, it's
point
just-
of science
you get
is
so
like,
used to failure.
you're trying
Like-
to prove yourself wrong. You're like, okay, I think this. Let me find all of the things that could make it not true. And then
Exact-
when it's
well, I
done,
mean,
it's
that's
like, okay,
because-
I guess. And for now, it's
Yeah.
true. Like,
That's like one of the most robust parts about science, and why it really bothers me with a lot of the anti-science sentiment that has happened with climate change and with the coronavirus is just that like the whole point of science is that you have people within the field trying the hardest they can to disprove it,
but
and
it
saying
makes
we
sense.
can't come up with a reason why this is wrong, so we got to publish it. Like it goes through peer review. That's a big part of it.
It makes sense. I think, like, not put blame on
just don't
scientists,
understand
but I
that.
think, like, a not insignificant portion comes from, like, the disconnect between how scientists talk about stuff and how people talk
Yeah.
about stuff. If you want to say,
It is a
hey,
different
climate
way
change is
of
a thing,
talking.
a scientist would be like, well, technically, like, we think, here's the best evidence, blah, blah, blah. People don't want to hear that. They want to hear, I know this to be true. And
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to do that if you're just making shit up.
I can't believe that we still assume the null hypothesis when it's wrong 95% of the time.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just it's unbelievable, just the anti-science sentiments that have fomented and
Yeah.
have been allowed to push, and it's just like arguing against science is just so insane because it's like a system built to be completely robust against argument.
Yeah. Like,
Like
you-
it's just
it-
like
and
it's
it's
whole,
so-
it's built to be this way.
It's built to argue against itself.
You
until-
do understand, all of you climate skeptics, that there are scientists that are very hard trying to disprove papers because they want to come up with the correct paper that is popular, but they're like, I can't. This is solid evidence. We have to accept it and publish it.
yeah.
Like, that exists. But
then,
people, you
then
don't
you
see
have
that.
that's the problem with something that is, you have this thing, science, that's like based on structure and merit, and then you have politics, which is only based on popularity. And
Well, it was supposed to be based off of rhetoric, but that's flew out the window.
yeah, but
you know.
rhetoric is just really popularity with extra steps, you know? Like,
Yep.
if you're rhetoricing good enough, you're gonna change people's minds,
You're
and
gonna-
then you'll be popular. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, that was. I mean, that's the whole Tommy Jefferson thing way back when.
Yeah.
You know what would be genius, though? I mean, this will never happen, but I mean, like, and the Biden administration did it to some point, but like, the easiest way to defeat Trump and that type of thing is just blow it off as being stupid into
Yeah,
their
that,
face.
I mean, I don't know
And
if
it
you can do that
has
anymore.
worked.
It
Because
could've-
there's multiple points. Like, what was the soundbite from Biden? Come on, man.
Come on,
Like,
man.
and people were like, yeah.
No.
Come on,
If-
People
man.
you resonate because it's like, you just got to be like, you're fucking dumb. Like, to your face. And they're like, and then they'll argue. And it just, give me a candidate that's
Yeah.
just going to call people out on this bullshit.
Is-
And they'll win. Trump did it to
Trump's
the other
character sheet.
Republicans.
Trump's character sheet has two abilities: cast confusion and taunt. And if you respond to the taunt and attack, that buffs him. Like, being put in a defensive position is what gave that dude all of his power.
I just want to have a Trump debate where the candidate goes up and Trump will say something, and then the other candidate's like, "Well, I think we should build a wall," and that's like his response. And he would just be like,
I just wish,
how could he deal with that? His brain would explode because he's taunting you. He's trying to get you to react, and you just do a dumb, childish thing back. I feel like it would explode.
time travel back to 2015 and be like, okay, no, he says dumb shit, and then you just say, okay, and talk about something else. And just put, like,
That's stupid.
Just don't.
Or just say, oh yeah, that's stupid. Like, you're an idiot.
No,
And
but
then
even that,
this
it's
is
like, oh,
actually
you,
what-
then that invites the defensiveness of, like, you're calling me stupid, you're calling my idea stupid, and that's where Trump thrives.
Well, then you
and
just
that's
say,
where
yeah, I
these
am,
people-
because you are stupid. That's a proven fact.
But now you're
So
in
is
an
that
argument.
how? Is that how I defeat Marjorie Taylor?
No, you
Greene?
don't argue. You don't ever
Yes.
expound beyond that fact. You just any question is like, no, you're just dumb. You don't have to
TJ,
elaborate.
I don't know if you can defeat Marjorie Taylor Greene, but that's how the political system could have and should have defeated Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Mm-hmm.
People that, like, I don't know if you remember, before 2015, people thought, like, politicians were kind of, like, regal and professional. And if they wanted to defend that, then you have to say, hey, no, I'm not giving any energy to this dumb shit you're saying.
You're kind of seeing this right now, though, with the Republican Party itself, because I guess Liz Cheney, when she was heavily ostracized by the rest of a lot of the Republicans for being very pro leading the investigation on the January 6th attacks on the Capitol and being like, fuck this bullshit. I don't care if there are Republicans that are going to get implicated in this. We need to root it out, because I think she has the foresight to see ahead that this shit will ruin our party, because Biden won. Because he won. Like, I talk to people that are from, like, Wisconsin, the fucking, like, my parents' friends and shit, and they're just like, oh, he just seemed like the more sensible person. And it's like, that is, like, that's going to kill some of these people, because you're winning the crazies, but Trump was only able to coast on that because, A, Hillary was just super unlikable, and B, people were like, what could it hurt? And it did hurt.
Well, also-
and that's what they learned.
Hillary was
And-
the kingmaker. She made two very, very underdogs become president. And 2 for 2, all right. One of them was all right.
Yeah.
I liked that one.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't
could have
know.
done more, but
It's
you know.
he's all right.
Anyway, I just think it's
And
funny
in
because
the
it's,
in the
I
wake
think
of
it's-
George
there-
Bush, he seemed real good at stuff.
Well, and I think the biggest problem with Trump having succeeded is that we may see the future Republican Party be a Tucker Carlson, someone
Yeah.
who takes that rhetoric but does it in a professional seeming way, and
What's happening
is
right
more
now
difficult to defeat.
is tension between the traditional Republicans like Liz Cheney and the Trump Republicans. For a long time, I thought that was just going to tear the Republican Party apart.
I mean, it is the evolution of the
It's
Tea Party.
actively happening still. It's just taking a lot longer, I think.
I think that's the optimistic view. I mean, I think just looking through pessimism glasses, I think that Trumpism is going to just take over the Republican Party at some point.
There is enough of deep red that, I mean, my father, my sister, my in-laws that are still, can't get out of this,
I would say that, but I also think that the coronavirus really hurt the Republicans, because
Yes, that is another thing.
because there are
Specifically,
people
death rates.
because the
being
anti-vax
politically
is a
aligned
very
is
small amount of
insane.
people,
It's so insane.
and it's because you look at a lot of people and you look at one of the big reasons Biden won is that the approval rating of Trump's handling of the virus was ridiculously low, even among Republicans.
Mhm.
And it comes to a point where it's like, yeah, rhetoric only takes you too far, but then blaming the virus on the Chinese isn't going to fix it. And since he didn't fix it, even though he did, I mean, you got to give Trump credit. I mean, he pushed hard for the vaccines to get made. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can't argue with that. I think he did.
I don't
everything he
understand
could.
why Trumpers are anti-vax. He pushed. He
took
did
it.
He did the thing.
Immediately.
He
got
made it
booed
happen and then
at-
took it.
At an Alabama rally.
Yeah.
It was
I don't get it. I
Three
just-
weeks ago.
It's kind of stupid. It's the thing is that that's the thing I think with Trumpism, Matt, that exists, is that I think that they're pushing themselves far enough right that they're going to lose the plot a bit, and you're going to have people like Trump getting booed in Alabama because they said get the vaccine.
Yeah.
Because
Well, yeah. Then
smart
you
thing to
get
do.
too many purity tests, and then suddenly nobody's pure enough. And
I mean, I already see that on Gitter. I still have my Gitter account, but you just see the insane shit going on there with purity testing and being allegiant to the right wing, and everyone's there's a lot of infighting over how X personality isn't doing enough right wing stuff, and it's it's gonna blow itself. Hey, the Democrats have been
literally-
dealing with this shit for years.
literally,
You know what I mean?
it's not
It's
a
the opposite.
political stance. It's a toxic fandom, and it's gonna do the same thing. All
That's
the other
kind of
toxic
true.
fandoms
That's
do.
a really good way of putting it. And that's kind of the problem with Bernie Bros, is that became kind of a toxic fandom within the Democrats. Is this
Yeah.
you're either with us or against us, and it's not that way.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I did not vote for Bernie in the primaries, but I would have happily supported him as the president. You know what I mean? It's
Look, I voted for Bernie in the primaries. I'm not crazy about Joe. Kamala's a cop. They're not great, but I'm gonna vote against them. I'm not gonna fucking vote third party and
Yeah.
get the office to Trump. That's fucking insane.
don't be
Don't be an idiot.
John in 2004 and vote for Ralph Nader instead of John Kerry, because I did. To be fair, it didn't matter because John Kerry won in
You
Wisconsin.
gave us George Bush. You caused 9/11.
No. George Bush was already there. He was I knew going in there was no way John Kerry was going to win the presidency away from George Bush.
But
So
he
I
did
voted
so
for
good at
Ralph Nader.
windsurfing. And he looks like a
I
Frankenstein.
think part of that was me being a Bernie bro at age 19. Except for instead of me being a Bernie bro, I was a Dean bro because I really wanted Howard Dean, and he got completely ruined. And I was like, John Kerry is barely better than George Bush,
Yeah.
which is true. But it was fine. That was me being. Yeah, I mean, middle's a great place to be.
Yeah.
That is
Like-
like honestly acceptable.
Real center, like real
Yes,
center,
correct.
not,
Real center. Believing both sides have good points. Like,
Yeah,
hey, maybe we
you-
should.
You
not do-
you just have to be careful not to get that whole Joe Rogan thing where your mind is too open and your brain falls out and you believe a bunch of dumb shit.
and you start chugging horse dewormer. No,
like
no, but,
there's
I
a
mean, the
limit
idea-
of like, oh, I'll listen to everyone because some people are real dumb.
Are we getting into centrism that's like, oh, 6 million Jews dying in the Holocaust was bad, but 3 million would have been okay?
Jesus Christ, TJ.
That's not the type
Oh.
of centrism I'm talking about.
Oh,
What I'm talking
okay.
about is maybe Republicans have some good ideas on taxation and spending, because the government historically has not done a very good job of spending money correctly.
Yeah.
So, but also that could be fixed
All right.
as
Anyway,
well.
I gotta
So,
go.
anyway,
I gotta go pee
gotta end.
for a minute.
We gotta
minute. You guys, while I'm doing that, real quick, talk about Texas and abortion. I'll be right back.
oh my.
Ouch.
Yeah, I feel like the problem when people say they're centrist is they're like middle, and they're like you're just a Republican. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta centrist to me is like
Center of Dems versus Repubs, it's still,
yeah.
right leaning.
Yeah.
If not
I
actually
mean,
just
like,
regular
well,
right.
that's the thing is like you see a candidate like Pete Buttigieg who was pretty centrist, and I liked him, been fine. I'm not happy. I want things to go a lot further. I mean, I was an Elizabeth Warren guy.
Yeah,
'cause
I
I-
get Warren.
I just love how much she wanted to fucking murder these huge corporations. Like, her anti-corporatist stance really is what got me like sold. Is I just really want her to fucking put the screws to all these monopolies. But, maybe she'll still be able to do that. But it's just kind of like
And
that
she's
was
got,
me.
I mean, she's got the expertise to back it up too.
Yeah. And like I liked Andrew Yang. He had some cool ideas, like the UBI, which basically exists now with unemployment. We basically have UBI at this point, which is kind of interesting.
Well, UBI would be a lot easier if you take away the hang on. I mean, UBI would be a lot easier if you take away all the red tape and just actually make it universal.
yeah.
Because you're paying a lot more to actually just prevent people from having it.
Mhm. Well, yeah. I mean, like, and fixing, but that UBI, honestly, UBI and universal healthcare would fix a lot of problems.
Mhm.
Because I think the biggest problem people have is healthcare bills, and
Yeah,
it to me is the most insane shit. And when you're talking about building a country, and you're saying like having universal healthcare, regardless of cost, would make a healthier population. And a healthier population makes
is
more money.
productive. Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't understand why this is a hard sell for either side.
I'm back. Did you
Because
solve it?
Jesus, no. But we
Ah,
did.
come
we
on, I
did.
gave you,
we
like-
did understand. We did understand that in Texas, you can't mandate masks, but you can mandate people to have a baby that they don't want to. That's pretty good.
Look,
That makes
everybody
sense.
join the Church of Satan. They can't discriminate
what?
against your religious
Do you know what?
belief.
Do you know what the most insane shit to me is with the mask mandate stuff? Is that like schools have fucking dress codes. You can't wear a fucking band T-shirt, but we can't make you not wear a mask. Like, what?
Yeah.
It's so crazy to me. Like, we couldn't
Well-
have backpacks in our school because one
Wait.
time someone called in a bomb threat that was probably just the principal saying that so that we didn't have to have backpacks because he didn't like backpacks.
By the way, I misspoke. Don't join the Church of Satan. They're a bunch of tryhards who actually believe Satan's a real thing. Join the Satanic Temple. They're the cool ones.
there you
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
That's the right one.
Um,
go. Got it. Satanic.
Yeah, I just like with the mask mandate. I get stuck at like it's a piece of cloth in
No,
your face. It's not that fucking hard. Why are you so hung up on this?
I mean, there's two bits that I want to bring up regarding that. Number one, I want to talk about Florida and DeSantis saying, "Hey, if a school wants to have it, we're no longer going to fund the school.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
And B, if we're talking about on the perspective of businesses,
Mhm.
and like, well, you can't make me wear a mask. That's prejudice. That is no prejudice.
We
Oh,
talked
you
about
you
this
just
a bit.
say
Yeah.
no. I'm not
Just-
making you wear a mask because of viruses. That's not a HIPAA violation. I'm making you wear a
Yeah.
mask because you're so ugly.
Well,
discrimination is for something you can't change.
yeah,
Making
Yeah.
someone wear a mask is a rule.
yeah.
So,
So,
one of
go
one of the other patterns I noticed on the Herman Cain Awards is,
Yep.
that man, they're really into my body, my choice now, and it's like okay. So
Yeah.
somebody has a baby that they don't
I just
want or
yeah.
can't take care of, or
Yeah.
it could be a health problem for them. It's bad
Yep.
for them. When that baby comes into the world, if they can't take care of it, it becomes bad for society. You not getting vaccinated creates another host, another mutation vector for a virus that could potentially destroy humanity. Like, how
bad
can
for
you not see
society.
that it's not your choice when it affects fucking all of us? Like,
Yeah. So that's really interesting with the argument against like masking, especially with like businesses. And you look at people like DeSantis and that where they're basically squeezing the only place they can, and that's public schools, because that's the only thing that's governmentally run where they can actually make that, because businesses can do whatever the fuck they want,
Yeah.
and the Republicans have pushed so hard to give businesses the ability to do shit like this with all of their anti-union rules, because you can imagine a union being like, well, we don't want to wear masks while we work. Well, guess what, you don't get to do that because we pushed all those out. So if a business says the employees have to wear masks, they have to wear masks. If they want people coming in, no shirt, no shoes, no service, that's existed forever. No mask, no service. Not different. Sorry, people, like, deal with it, you fucking assholes. People that don't wear masks piss me off. The vaccine is a step further. Like that, I mean, whatever. That's putting something into your body. It's more difficult now that the FDA has approved fully one of the vaccines. It's like, okay, well, what are you waiting for here? It's safe. But with a mask, it's literally common decency. Like,
yeah.
at that point, if you're not willing to put a fucking mask on, what kind of horrible person are you?
And maybe
Like,
it's
I
just
hate wearing them.
maybe
but
it's
I
just
do
my
it.
like extreme introversion kicking in, but I kind of like it. Like, I like
Yeah.
hiding behind a mask. It's nice.
What's funny is
Good
that I
for
feel
my
like we're going to be
allergies,
wearing
too.
masks forever.
Well, yeah.
Like-
I mean, if we switch over to like the more popular Asian model of like, hey, if you have the sniffles, wear a mask so you don't give it to anybody else. That would be awesome. I would love that.
Yeah. Yeah, the fact that I didn't get a cold, and I think almost anyone I've ever talked to didn't get a cold last year,
Mhm.
is proof that masks do a pretty dang good job.
No,
against social
no.
distancing.
It's proof that doctors are taking flu deaths and attributing them to COVID because it's
see.
conspiracy.
Ugh. All right, we
We
gotta
are-
end. I'm
we
getting
are-
tired. My
we're on
headache's
track.
coming back.
To this country becoming a
Ba-do-do.
petri dish of perpetual COVID.
You don't have the music
That's what's
working
gonna
yet,
happen.
Dude, well, I could bring it up. It'll take a minute.
huh? Don't worry about it.
No, it's
gotta-
All
fine.
right, spend
It's
a
got to
minute.
load all the
My recorder's
samples
over there
and
somewhere.
buffer.
Yeah, but I think that's the point. I think Junior Gamer pointed this out too, saying I'm middle, more left because it's a spectrum, and that's definitely the way to look at it. Is don't be I'm stuck this way. It's
Yeah.
I'm going to listen to
definitely.
everything and make my own decisions,
Mhm.
not just look at one source, which is what a lot of people do. Like
Be-
on
be-
Gitter,
be
I'm on
careful.
Gitter. It's all like news sites I've never heard of.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get my news from this site. And it's like, no, go to every site and then decide based
Be-
on that. You have to do the research.
I will say, be
that's the thing.
careful what you label yourself as,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
labels become definitions, and definitions become
Yeah, it's a
kind of
spectrum.
shorthand
You're
for
not-
thinking, and then
You're not, you're a you.
you end up
You're not
trapped
a-
into this
a middle.
this if you get too
Yeah.
into the idea of labels, and that's like
Yeah.
kind of what most of the Republican Party is.
I
Yeah.
You're unable to change any of that.
I get
you
my
know?
news from AmericaFirst.ru. I don't know
Oh,
what the
boy.
RU stands for.
Really united.
Really, U.S. Really, USA. That's what RU stands for.
All right.
Oh my god.
Anyway, see you later, everybody.
Watch Hobo
Bye.
Shoestring.
Hobo shoestring.
You can
I hope
find
he's
me on
not
TikTok
Republican.
as the Trans Handyman. See you later. Look, I'm not gonna promote my own shit. None of that's worth.